Okay, I'm back. Okay, let me just say that, okay, I'll explain why, I was muted, or what just happened in general, honestly. So, earlier when I was, taking my, listening to, what is it called? Sub Oblivion, taking a course on the CompTIA, the IT certificate I'm trying to get. She's taking like 2, but it's the first one I'm trying to get. They mentioned about messing with the BIOS in the settings, and I changed one thing and I messed up the BIOS somehow. I don't know how I even did it. I think I forgot to do another setting, like mess with another setting to tune it, to fine tune it. So I had to go into my computer and take out my CMOS battery, which is like the motherboard battery, basically. And yeah, and then I had to unplug everything. Yeah, it wasn't that bad though. So yeah, that happened, apparently. And when I plugged in my headphones, I plugged them into the wrong ports. Completely wrong ports, because I was doing it blind. It was a really stupid idea. I should not have done that. Well, I mean, they were the right area, they were just the wrong ports where the area where the different audio ports are. What's up, Mini Cooper? I may play with other viewers on other games. I'm not too sure what I'd play, and if I'm even considering doing that. I'm still even considering doing that at all. Not that game, like, just any game, honestly, I'm still even considering. They only know about it, because of the channel blowing up. They probably still wouldn't have known about this project if they didn't know about my channel blowing up. that was weird. Would I recommend? That's a pretty good question, actually. It really depends on the project. I don't recommend creating a new project. Shoot, unless it's a project that's very, unless you know it can gather a lot of attention. You know for sure it can gather a lot of attention in the long run. This one I didn't know, but I kind of wanted... The reason I did this project mainly was to finish a project somebody else was doing. Is the reason I started this project. Really, game? Okay, I don't know if I'd recommend a project this big, because this is ridiculous. I don't know that many people who would even... I mean, here's an... Oh, shoot. Would even finish this project in the first place, so I don't know about that one. That's the first thing. And then... So, like, for example, walking to the Ender Farland. Somebody made a video on that. Do I recommend anybody really do that project? Not really. I mean, you can do it if you want to. It's still your choice anyway, but... I personally would not recommend a project that big. It's slightly bigger than this project, which if you know how long that takes, then... I mean, you could still do like 2 hours a day and get this done in 8 years or something like that. Because my average time on this world is like 4 hours a day, so... So, I don't know about... Like, dumb name. He's mining a 256 by 256. That's a good example of a project that, doesn't take that long. I mean, it takes a decent amount of time. It doesn't take that long. It's a failed project somebody else did. IBX Toycat specifically. And, yeah. And it's not a super long project like this one is. I mean, you can still do these projects. You just better, just start small, honestly. I don't recommend going all out on these projects. These types of projects right away. It's not a good idea. Start at like 2 hours a day or something like that. And then work your way up to maybe 4 if you have a good amount of time. Even 2 hours a day of just this, I could finish in a pretty good amount of time. Seriously, I could finish this in it'd finish this in a pretty good amount of time. Not a great, but pretty good. What's up, Perez? You can do like world record projects too. You don't have to do like projects like this. I mean, I guess this technically is a world record project, so. Do mind you, you have to, I recommend video proof. I don't care. if you say you're doing something, you have to have some form of video proof. It also gets your name out there anyway, so why wouldn't you have video proof anyway? Have some form of video proof. Like, there's many people who could say, oh yeah, I've mined a classic size world. Does not a single person have video proof? No. It is easy. Like, somebody said they mined a whole old world on Pocket Edition. Haven't seen any proof yet. And, well, they did say the world corrupted, but I'm still not taking it. I can take their world, but I'm still not taking it. Is this lagging, or geez, that's a lot of No, I'm not keeping the cobblestone. It's too much of a pain to keep, seriously. Give me a second. I'm back. That is true. I forgot about cobblestone generators. Even though that's insane, that's a lot of cobblestone to generate. It would be pretty funny though. It'd be like 2009 Minecraft. I think majority of people's schedules messed up, honestly. Nice. Nice, Ash. For some reason, I always wake up before my alarm. I don't care what time it is, I can set an alarm. I will wake up to it, or I'll wake up before it. It's really annoying sometimes. Also, I'm just gonna mention that mentality of sleeping and then snoozing for like 10 minutes. It's a really stupid idea, do not do it. If you wake up 10 minutes before, just wake up. I'm not even much of a morning person. My body just kind of just anticipates the alarms. It's like, That's actually not a bad idea, is getting up to get to reset your alarm. Somebody's actually already done that on the Minecraft Classic. The same person who was doing Operation Bedrock, the person I took inspiration from to finish this project, he actually did Operation Dome, which was dude, that's one of my biggest fears, is turning off the alarm when I'm asleep. Definitely my biggest fear, because my body for some reason preemptively knows my alarm, which is scary. Oh god, it's triggering me slightly, Ash. Gummy shaped llamas. Or llama shaped gummy. Actually, that'd be even more terrifying. Can you imagine gummy shaped llamas? That'd be kind of terrifying. Not gonna lie, the alarm itself does help me wake up. Like, for example, if I wake up 10 minutes before, I don't actually go to sleep, but I just lay there until my alarm literally shocks me out of bed, basically. So that's a great wake up. It's like, you know that cold water thing? That cold water trick to wake up. It's basically the same thing. Also, my light is having a seizure. I don't understand why it does this. Oh, you're getting the VR headset. That's pretty cool. Which one are you getting? There's only 2 headsets I could really recommend, and one's for Beat Saber, and the other ones are for everything else. Literally. You have a headset designed for Beat Saber, and then you have a headset designed for everything else, or every other headset is not designed for. It's kind of funny, actually. Give me a second. Jesus Christ. Syrup to wake up? Just drink water. Water wakes you up faster than anything. Literally, faster than coffee. What do you think wakes you up immediately? It's not the coffee, it's the water inside the coffee. Too much sense to cheat survival, I'll be honest. Even though I technically did it with my sister when we used to play, because we used to have a what is it called? The inventory. What is it called? The moderator thing. What are they called? Where it's like you can, where you can fly. You can do keep inventory, stuff like that. You could still die. It just. Depends on the sparkling water. There are good sparkling waters. Surprisingly. What's up, Mohammed? on water. American Clear. It's basically a soda, but it's clear, and it's just as good as a original sparkling water. It's like an extra flavored. Some very active chat, jeez. You're gonna cut down all your trees in the class successful. Oh my god. Swear to god. Okay, good. Somebody already did it. I was about to do it, I was about to say. A very active chat, jeez. Well, besides code blue or code red, apparently, because I can't pay attention, apparently either. Oh my god, I swear to god, dude. The same guy. That's what I'm thinking. What's up, Kwama? Jesus Christ. Really paying attention. I'm so focused on this chat, it's kind of ridiculous to be honest. It's really the only thing I'm seeing. I mean, it's literally the only thing I'm saying, because you already know how bad my, That's literally how NiHero works. It's really stupid sometimes. It's useful in some cases, but kind of stupid in some cases. I am at 50, no, I'm probably close to 60% done. How long do you need to watch streams? You need to be super consistent. And I'm not going to be adding that many mods until towards the end, but actually not really. Even then, I'm probably not going to add many. I'm getting pretty close to 60 though. I think 59% actually, is weirdly enough. Such a weird number, but I think it's close to 59%. I know, hype is gonna get ridiculous towards the end of this project, seriously. You guys just... Yeah, honestly. I wonder how many alts he actually has. Why would I disable on-screen chat? It's a ludology. Wait, what are you doing for mining again? I forgot. Jeez, 70 alts. Isn't there a way to IP ban or something like that? Is there something completely different? There's a way to do it, I'm pretty sure. I think Kilo did it. It's one of his mods, weirdly enough. Because he was going insane, literally on stream. It's always delayed, though. Oh, you're mining your spawn. Okay, never mind. I forgot it was like 8.8 million or something like that. Makes it more annoying because I keep falling into it. Here we go again. Wait a minute, I think I can actually do something. Give me a second. There's something I can do, I'm pretty sure. Never mind. Wait, I think there is. Give me just 1 second. This will solve all the problems, probably. Just a second. There's a way to do this. I'm not too sure. This will be incredibly useful if I can figure this out. Never mind, I don't think there is. Whatever, we'll just have to keep. What's up, RC? And Coast and Dragon. I'm surprised it even worked. that very often, but I'm gonna start doing that once I start getting out of little caves. I'll just mine whatever dirt is around me, really. What's up, some guy? This is a very active chat. It's kind of insane, actually. It's not exactly the best thing. I mean, as long as you guys do code red. What's up, Mahilo? Shoot, messed up the first time, but Mahilo. What's up, Rory? Alright, see you, Rory. Thanks for stopping by. Too bad I'm not an EMP and I can just make changing pickaxe a habit. Or being able to multitask a lot better. Whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Shoot. I just thought about something. If I get shouted out, well, I technically got shouted out on YouTube, sort of. But not an actual shout out. If I got shouted out on YouTube and then I somehow got notified on Twitter, I would literally be known on every platform, or at least every platform on the internet, basically, or at least almost every known, I guess, platform on the internet that everybody uses. That is. I already did code blue. I may need to get some water in a minute, though. Or more water. Is he finally alive? Also, I'm just gonna mention, if you guys haven't seen his channel, he's actually one of the mods on Kilo's and my stream. Wait, no, he's not. He's not mod on my stream. Never mind. He's a mod on Kilo's stream. Dumb name. He's mining a 256 by 256 area. If you want to see that as well, on his Bedrock world. Wow, I suppose I even made that. If you guys want to see that? He has like 300 something subscribers. So. I'm really surprised I made that jump. Seriously. What's up, Slicer? Elytra parkour. Nobody does elytra parkour. That I know of, at least. Bunny hopping parkour, basically. I've gotten decently good at parkour, I don't know why, but... And pretty good at elytra flying, at least on PS4. That, I can kind of attest to that one, but... Especially with speed, too, specifically. Get Nightcore back, not Nightbot backfire. Okay, well. What's up? Because. That's why. You basically said my answer in your name. I don't know if that was coincidence or... Honestly though, I don't know if I should do something like that. Yeah, when you mentioned something like that, I don't know about that. Don't know if that's the best idea. That would especially backfire in certain cases. God damn. Dirt. Is that pie man? No, we just need pie bits. And pumpkin pie. We'll have all the pies. Wait, pretty sure I already reset it. We just have to get pretty lucky. You really? That's kind of funny. Wait, how many? That's kind of insane, actually. I know a friend who has, I think he has around 50 digits, but that's usually pretty normal when most people do it, but 146 is pretty insane. How much mental energy does that take to memorize all of that? How much time does it take to memorize that many digits in your head? Because I know you can train your mind to do it, but my god, that's kind of insane. The only way I can really memorize something is if I put absolutely all my focus into memorizing it. I better like recite it 1,000,000,000 times over. You studied 5. Okay, that makes sense actually. That's kind of crazy that the mind can actually. That's, what is that, like 30 days? About a month. Alright, see ya, Oblivion. Why did I? Okay, whatever. Don't know why I thought that'd be a good idea to just redo that. One hit. Am I gonna hit it? No, I'm not. Unfortunate. It's crazy how many levels I gain by even repairing 6 pickaxes. I don't know why I went the right direction, but whatever. Okay, give me a second. Okay, I'm back. I don't really show this too often, but this kind of shows how big this world actually is. It's still kind of hard to see though, I'll be honest. That is incredibly satisfying to do. Yeah, I probably should have. Actually, it's a little bit easier to see in RHC up high, man. What's up, Shane? Yeah. Daytime would have been a little bit worse, actually. Maybe a bit surprising, but the cloud, the fog on the world, kinda makes it a little bit harder to see. I should do a nighttime showcase, like a nighttime section showcase. It's a lobster lord. Shoot, I was not expecting to fall down there. Wow, I did. Okay, I forgot about this ravine. Pretty sure he does. Do you mean lording over lobsters? He's ruling over all lobsters. What even is that, like, face? I know it's like a smiley face, but is it like a... I don't know what it's supposed to represent. Is it supposed to be like a super, super happy face? Or is it this giant fake grin? I don't really know. It's like... It's really weird. I mean, kinda, but it has a... It reminds me of like a sarcastic smile. Rip. Actually, I think that's what it's supposed to be, or it's supposed to somewhat represent a sarcastic smile. Or a really cute smile. I don't know. Or it's a smile that's supposed to represent that you're actually sad on the inside, but you're trying to represent that you're actually happy. Like the I'm dying inside type of happiness type of thing, whatever it's called. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that's a slight smile. What's up, crewmate? Yes. It's a better way to say it, Rafi. That's a... What? How is that? How is that even remotely? I'd just say no at the exact same time. Wow, it's quite a bit different than what I thought it was, isn't it? I don't think that's a kissy face, Rafi. I think that's like a, I think that's actually supposed to be like a cute type of face. I could be wrong, though. I don't know, honestly. I mean, it does look like a kissy face, I'll be honest. I completely forgot what the question was. What was it again? still don't know how the other things actually kiss your face. I don't understand. How did they come up with that? Isn't that a reference to a show? A specific show that if somebody wants to guess. I don't know what you consider fun for school, but oh, that's better. Code Blue isn't that bad. Jesus Christ, honey. Code Red's a lot harder to keep up with, apparently. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, Code Blue is just kind of like, here's 30 minutes. Code Red water. So my pickaxe gets low. that's something I really can't do, especially streaming. I can do it when I'm not streaming pretty easily. I think I've only broken like 1 or 2 pickaxes at most without streaming. That's when I was really zoned out, jeez. You know, I just thought about something. What if, due to cognition, since I'm using my, what's it called, my muscle memory to do things in this game now, like it's transferred to my muscle memory instead of using so it'd be going into my SI demon. Wouldn't that technically put me more in my super ego, at least slightly, and make me more tired than usual? I don't know if it doesn't make a lot of sense, but at the same time it kind of does, sort of. It would make sense to some degree at least. Honestly, just listen to the stream in the background. People do it all the time. You don't have to watch. You can just listen to me rant or do nothing or talk or listen to Minecraft music, really. What's up, Ethan? Don't know if I can make this, but oh my god, how did I make that? I'm genuinely surprised I made that. I'm really underestimating how far you can actually go with the elytra jumps. Which technically, if you combine with honey blocks, you can make the longest jump in Minecraft technically. I'm pretty sure, right? It's honey blocks with elytra jumping would probably make the longest jump. And speed too. You did your group part. Why would you do a group project? Now I can see like doing something that's completely mind-numbing, but oh, okay, gotcha. You know, you would think by this point how many times I've done this, how many times I've changed these pickaxes, you would think it'd form into a habit by now. Even with SI Demon, you'd think the amount of times I've changed pickaxes, which is, I don't want to know how many times I've changed pickaxes by this point. I don't know though. It doesn't make any sense. Like, no habits, seriously. Really. It's like a partial habit. It's a habit I have to force, which is sort of active. It's like it's a half active habit. I don't know. Do they even exist? I don't know though. I mean, they kind of exist. It kind of happened in my job. Sort of. It was kind of frustrating though in my job though when it came to something like that, because I'd forget something and get super angry about it. Of myself. Because I'm literally like mentally straining myself. Not even mentally straining myself, but like, geez, I'm basically punishing myself for my own self. It's super weird. What's up, Matt's fault? How long did you stream for? Nice. I'm pretty sure it is, isn't it? That little pizza man from Little Caesars. It's been a while since I've seen it, but actually really don't know what to talk about, to be honest. It's hard for me to think about a topic. I may do personality stuff. I'm trying to think about something else I could do. Alright, see you, Shane. There was something very specific I thought about with the types. Or with the functions, specifically. I forgot what it was, though. I thought you said you were... Never mind. I was reading somebody else's comment. I don't know. Oh, wait, I remember now, I remember. It's, how to parent two function types. So if you have SI, or you have NI, basically, in your function stack, it's how to parent the types. There's two very simple ways, and kind of how to develop your own self as well. Trust me when I tell you. It's a thing. This is pretty much your own responsibility of your type to do. This is if you're just an NI or an SI user, basically. So. What's up, just a friend? What's up, Dylan? What's up, Dylan? Well, pretty much, it's, NI users should ask before they do what they want, or ask if they can do it, and SI users need to know how to share. Literally, that's all it is. I'll try to explain it a little bit further. The reason why NI users need to know how to say what they're doing before they do it, or ask do something before they do it, it's basically just because since NI users aren't consciously aware of their own consequences, they don't have they have to ask SI any users to ask if they can do that specific task, because the other the SI any user, the extroverted intuitive user, can predict basically their own or the other person, the NI user's fate, or at least give them a warning or anything of that sort. Because if the NI user makes a decision, it could be irresponsible. Why do you want me to say... Alright, here's the reason why SI users need to share. The reason SI users need to share is because of, rock? Okay. The reason SI users need to share Oh yeah, I remember that. The reason SI users need to share is because they need to learn that even though they may be losing, they're more or less afraid of experiences, or they basically need to put their faith into other people's decisions of sharing their own experiences, is a good way to say it, if that makes sense. Because it's like an SI user could be like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna share with you because I'm afraid that I'm not gonna get the same experience again the next time, or yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty much sums up the entire lecture he did over NI and SI. Seriously, like that's like the main point of the lecture. Alright, see you, Pie Man. Nice. Thank you for staying, because honestly, I know a lot of people just kind of hop in and out of the streams. Or hop maybe a couple months into it just to look at progress. Mainly. A lot of progress has been done. I don't know when you last joined, but it's kind of crazy. Be surprised how fast you can make progress in something like this. It's like Rafi's signature face, and then there's Ash. Actually, no, that's Ash's signature face, and then you have Rafi's. Because they've been using those two faces the entire time. Then there's Pie Guys is the first face every time somebody makes a comment. And yes, that was kind of a joke, but you kind of do somewhat respond to like that quite often. It's kind of funny actually. I do smiley faces quite often, honestly. Dang it, almost down to 29. This next stream will be 29, or maybe tomorrow in the morning. Because yes, I do get up at 7:30 doing some of the stuff. I don't do the entire project at 7:30, but I've been getting up at 7:30, so I may or may not do the stream during 7:30. I don't know. But I may be watching a specific stock in the stock market that's. Let me just say it's like a penny stock trader's dream. That's all I'm gonna say, honestly. Other than that. Should be able to get this next layer done within 2 hours, roughly. For me, this world isn't too overwhelming flying around, because I've literally done it for thousands of hours, but I think for some people, this world would be just insane to be in. Just being in this world would be ridiculous for most people. I mean, looking at this in itself is kind of... imagine this world in VR. How weird it would be. This world had 50, or this project had 400 at one point when it blew up. At 50% it had 50. The 50% stream had 50 people on it, which was pretty sick. It was like a mini celebration. It was pretty cool. Same thing's probably gonna happen at 75% as well. Maybe not as much, but it's gonna be like a mini celebration, at least towards the final quarter. It's pretty good. I'm gonna make a 3-year anniversary video as well. I think. Should I do a 3-year? I don't know. Actually, no, there's no point in doing a 3-year. It would make more sense to just, because I never did a 1-year. If I did a 1-year anniversary, which I should have done, but I don't think I'm gonna do, because this is technically the second chapter to my world, so like this 50, it's like 50% of the world, or 50% of the time in this project was the 2-year anniversary, which was, I think it was January 2019? No, it wasn't January. Shoot, when was it? I don't remember. I think January 2019 was 9 million, I think. I could be wrong though. I think June was 25%. June 29th, I think it was June 16th. 2019 was 25%. I don't know why I remember that, but that date specifically, but nice. That's pretty impressive actually, in terms of time. 5 hours a day. If you want to put that into equivalency, if I mined 5 hours a day for 3 months, I would be... don't know how many sections I would have mined. I think 3 sections? 2.5 sections, something like that. That is if I mined for 5 hours straight every single day for 3 months. I'm just gonna mention my average time on this world per day is 4 hours for 3 years. The average. I'm pretty sure it's around 4. It's around 4 hours. It could be closer to like 3.5, but... why I just did that. The lack of dirt, jeez. Yeah, I should be hitting 20s by tomorrow. Honestly, I feel very relieved whenever I mine down to layer 29. I don't know, just something about it. I technically have 26 layers left. If I finish 2 layers a day, I can get this done in 2 weeks. Or just under 2 weeks, but I don't think I'm gonna do it on Thanksgiving. Maybe. I think it depends on what time I wake up. If I can wake up at a good time, I think I can manage, but I really don't know. It's going to be very sketchy. Because I'm actually doing something for once on a holiday. December is going to be even harder. At least towards the end of December. I think. Potentially harder. Then after December, I'm probably going to have an IT job by that point, honestly. Maybe. If I can get through my second certificate, I probably can get a job in January. Because I'm not just learning the certificates, I'm learning other things as well. Like, I downloaded virtual, like a virtual system thing. Virtual machine software. I'm still torn between going into cloud, like being a cloud engineer, or becoming a programmer, going into programming. I'm still kind of torn between those two, I'll be honest. That's a big rip right there. One of them I'm gonna have to somewhat learn programming regardless, but at the same time, maybe I'll just learn programming and then at the same time kind of decide if I should actually go into, I don't know. I remember watching this video on like how to think like a programmer, and one of the slides, it's like a slideshow thing, and one of the slideshows says, shoot, what did it say? It was like one bullet point. It said, if you're teaching yourself programming, you're teaching yourself with a amateur teacher. It's like, I don't know about that one. Like, maybe for majority of people, sure, that's true, but I don't know about that one. He could probably teach majority of people how to code without even having the cognition to code well. That's kind of funny, actually. don't worry, I already got my mental torture out by playing Geometry. Trust me, that game made me go insane. I kind of made myself go insane when playing it. I shouldn't have. I kind of spiraled into myself on the game. I shouldn't have done it though. I should have kept pushing forward. Oh well. Doesn't matter at this point though. I've already know what absolute frustration is like, so I don't have to worry about that. Learning it is pretty fun. And good thing is I love feedback anyway, so it's not like I don't really get mad that often at feedback at things, especially coding, because I get instant feedback. Rip. Like, I just don't think, I'm not saying coding, everybody could do coding, because I don't think that's 100% true. Really, TI users should do coding, seriously. TE users, it's not too great. I mean, you could do TE Hero, can do it. But anything, maybe TE Parent, anything below TE Parent is probably screwed. So, the best programs are probably STPs, NFJs, apparently from CS Joseph, that's what he mentioned, and that's NTPs, SFJs. And then after that, it would be ENTJs, INTJs, actually technically INTJs then ENTJs for some reason, I think. And then it would be, mainly because of SE inferior, but then it would be SFPs, be SFPs, and then NFPs. Yeah. So if I had to make a list of the best types versus, and the worst types, apparently INFJs are the best programmer types. Seriously, apparently. Which is really interesting to know. Maybe ENFJs, possibly. NFJs kind of tie. STPs kind of tie. So I can't really give a good... And then it would be NTPs, so both NTPs kind of tie. INTPs are better. Just a bit. INTPs, and then it would be, oh wait, I forgot SFJs. SFJs are technically really good, especially ISFJs. ISFJs, and then be ESFJs. Then it would be actually no, technically NTJs are technically better than Jesus Christ, it scared me so badly. Actually it's I think NTJs, actually no, I'd still think TI inferior is better than TE. High TE users, so maybe not actually. Nice. Nice animation. Let's see. You know, it's kind of funny how good my video editing is actually getting. actually very surprising. I've only made a couple videos and my video editing skills have exponentially grown. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. It's not like I put that much practice into it. I guess SE Inferior is kind of just that powerful. It's kind of ridiculous. It's like playing Beat Saber and then taking a month off and then coming back and I'm like almost just as good as I was a month ago. It's like, how? Do mind you, this game, if you don't play for like a week, you're pretty much as bad as you were for most people. I just don't get rusty that often. Seriously, it's kind of ridiculous. The performance just kicks in out of literally nowhere. Nice. Wait, what are you streaming? The funny part is, okay, I can see myself improve, like I can see improvements in myself, but after a certain point I can't see the improvements. I think that's where the S Inferior shines, is where it's where I don't notice my improvements, but I improve more than I actually think I do in things in general, if that makes sense. Which is where I think I lose my own faith into what I'm doing, is because it's like, oh, I don't see myself improving, so I'm just gonna leave. Which is kind of a problem. Like, okay, just didn't know that happened until recently. I was like, there's this like hump of performance where it goes like up, it's like exponential, and then it decreases and decreases, law of diminishing return. No, it's even worse with SE Inferior though, I'm telling you. Because of that performance anxiety. And I know SE Critic, since I know you said you were an ESFJ, has like a miniature performance anxiety. It's not as strong as SE Inferior though. Mainly because you aren't consciously aware of what you're doing, or consciously aware of how you're coming off, so it's even worse. But that's the funny part though. Yes. Did I really just... The heck did you go? What the heck? Am I blind, or like am I missing something here? Did it just disappear in front of my face? It's that internal fear that can consume me very easily. Which is what yes, Joseph criticizes INFJs the most of not starting anywhere, is because they're so afraid of doing something that we just don't do it at all, and then we don't get anything done, and then we just stagnate and then wither. And then FI Critic starts coming in, and then SI Demon starts coming in, it's like, ugh. It's kind of messy in the inside. Maybe the outside, in some cases, especially as Joseph mentioned. He even mentioned about, like, saving some INFJs from literally cutting themselves. If that says anything how bad SE Inferior and SI Demon is. It's like, geez, I've never had it to that point. Jeez. Like, I've had FI Critic literally eat my face off a couple times, but... Oh yeah, parking is a pain. I've had SE Inferior eat me alive and FI Critic simultaneously. But I've never had SI Demon consume me to that point, at least. I've had it consume me in the fact of like comfort zone type of thing. That has happened to me a couple times last year around January or something like that. But yeah. So geez, that's, I've never had like thoughts of actual like suicide stuff. But geez, that's still pretty bad. Telling you, it's still SE Inferior has the worst. Actually, INFJs, even more than INTJs, have the worst performance anxiety. Because performance anxiety is one thing, like, you know, actually performing for somebody is one thing, but this is like constant awareness of performance and other people. Like SE Critic, sure, it's pretty bad when it comes to performance, because you're so critical about how you perform at something, or you criticize other people about their performance, which can be super hypocritical. But being critical about your own performance actually isn't a bad. I mean, it's still not that great, but it still is better than criticizing other people of their performance instead of actually giving feedback. It's like a mini, I call it a mini performance anxiety. It really is in your mind, though. Surprisingly, with the driving thing, the actual test wasn't that bad. Weirdly enough, I think it was SE aspirational for once. It actually benefited me, except for when I almost ran the red light, but that was kind of a last second decision. Whatever. Other than that, I did pretty well. I was still nervous in some degree, but it wasn't as bad as the actual driving itself. Like practicing driving was so much. You would think it'd be the opposite, right? You would think the test would be harder. Surprisingly, me practicing was way more painful in my SE Inferior than than the test. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you how competitive SE Inferior actually is. There is a guy, well, CS Joseph, the guy I've been learning all this stuff with, he had his mentor. He was an ESTP. His mentor was an ESTP and an INFJ, but mainly about the ESTP. The ESTP mentor, since he had an INFJ son, he would punish him by forcing him to play, I think it was World of Warcraft or something like that. And do mind you, his mentor was really good at it. He would force him to play it, even though he wasn't good at it, and just completely destroy him every single time, just to ruin his SE Inferior, just as a punishment. If that shows you how insane performance is with this function. So imagine that, punishing with analytical psychology. It reminds me of when I was playing FPS games for the first time with my friends. Kind of the same thing. Me not being good, everybody else being much better than me, and then me quitting it. But in that case, they were forced to do it. So it was like, I want to quit, but I can't quit because he's forcing me to do it. So it's like literal, it's a trap. It's literally a mental trap. It's like, geez, that sounds horrible, honestly. Kind of funny, but at the same time horrible. Not really in the bad way though. I mean if you do as a punishment, that's like the craziest punishment you could do. That's like telling a TI inferior to learn programming even if they have zero concept of technology. It's basically the same thing. It's like, hey, you have no technology. I'm gonna you're forced to learn programming. That's basically TI inferior. Like TI inferior equivalency, or I can do other equivalencies as well. I'll try at least. Kind of hard to actually, because they're so different from each other. Oh, SI inferior is easy. You just force them out of their comfort zone every every 10 seconds. Give them a new experience every single 5 seconds. Like throw cold ice down their back or something like that out of literally thin air. Or wake them up at 3:30 in the morning for no reason. Or sneak in the room and set an alarm at 3:30 in the morning. That would be horrible. I think that's for anybody, but SI inferior it's even worse. Let's see. What else? How else could you punish all the types? Using the inferior function specifically. NI inferior, forcing them to do everything. They literally have zero choice in the matter. That's literally it, honestly. Trying to think of some other ones. They're really hard to do though. As a punishment, kind of hard to do. Like FI inferior. It's really bad for NI inferior though. Actually, instead of forcing them to do something, force them to get, like, don't give them any options. Basically, if they ask for something, just force them to do another option, even though they wanted something else. That's even different. That's a little bit different, but it's kind of similar. You give them the choice, but you don't actually give them the choice. Any inferior, never tell them your intentions ever. Be as impulsive as possible. Don't ask for anything. I don't know if that actually. I don't know if that would be actual punishment, but for that in that case at least. I'm only saying that because I don't really know how that could be actual punishment, at least in this case. I'm trying to think of one for Effie Inferior, but that's kind of difficult, I'll be honest. I don't really know. I'll have to think of that later. It's kind of interesting though. I mean, if you want to make all the types sad, I can just attack somebody's attack somebody's child function, honestly. There's even combinations of functions like the demonic child. That's the thing, where you combine the demon function with the child function, it becomes this like super insane unreleased child, basically, onto other people or even yourself. Sounds pretty bad. The funny part is NI users shouldn't be punished with actual like hitting or anything like that. Anything like that. Punishments don't really work as well on NI users. Just take away their choice. That's literally for NI users. SI users you can do that on because it makes them uncomfortable. And they'll remember. That experience as well, so. There's even something called the demonic parent, which is basically where if you want to really criticize somebody, yeah, or not criticize somebody, or if you really want to, shoot, what is it? Well, it depends on your functions. Let's see, I can't think of any. Is there a demonic hero that would be ridiculously powerful? Imagine if that's even possible, honestly. Imagine actually, isn't that technically just a broken isn't that literally a person that's too far gone at that point? It's literally a absolute mass murderer or psycho killer or anything like that. Because that technically means the superego wins. That person literally becomes demonic in the eyes of other people, because it literally teams up with the hero and it transforms the hero into a demon. And then goodbye person, because they're not going to live the same way anymore. Well, some types probably won't live. Can you imagine NI hero with SI demon? Hope that person's probably gone from this earth at that point. I already did code blue. Jesus. And red, yes. Well, almost. Fine, I'll do more. A little bit more. I probably should check a little bit more. There we go. What about, I'm trying to think of all the weird pairings you could do with hero, demonic hero. Like, can you imagine that? The hero and the demon function teaming up. It'd be like, I'm trying to think of one that'd be very specific. So, like, take an EMP. Alright, see Ash. Take a ENP, it would be like, I don't care, I'm gonna destroy the fates of other people entirely, because of SC Demon with NI Hero. I guess it's not as bad as NI Hero with SI Demon, because that's literally like, I will self-destruct. It's literally... that's all it is, really. It's like, that person's probably gone by that point. Once the demon and the hero function team up in ISJs or INJs. It's just saying that out loud is, I don't know why, it's just so funny thinking about like the hero and the demon teaming up together. In certain types, it just sounds ridiculous thinking about it. What'd be other combinations? Oh my god, can you imagine TE Demon with FE and FE Hero? That person would literally not stop talking. Seriously, that person would probably drive themselves to absolute insanity. Like actual insanity. I think that's actually the people that actually go insane are probably TE demons. Seriously, TE demon with FE hero. Like that person would literally go insane by that point. Even if it's just super ego TE demon that kind of just corrupts the entire body, but or the mind. Actually, I should ask CS Joseph about demonic heroes, if that's even a thing. I'm trying to think about the ridiculous combos. I'm trying to think if there's also one that's TI Demon and FI Demon, which I don't want to know what that's like, because it'd be like, if it's TI Demon, wait a minute, FI okay, so this is the one that's weird. Think about this. So if FI Demon and TI Hero teamed up, it would be one of the most self-deprecating types to ever live as a person. But the funny thing is, TI Demon and FI Hero would literally be the most self-absorbed person probably on the planet. I think the only one that may be okay, possibly, I mean this is probably a stretch, but it's TE Hero with FE Demon. Which would be like, instead of being it would be a person who literally has no thought of their own or anything of that sort. They would also become, I don't really know what actually they'd become, because it'd be kind of hard to say. Oh, they would be this ultimate, what is it called? Ultimate... Basically, let me just say, any credentials and any stuff like that would be literally become a drug. Like a legitimate drug at that point. I'm trying to think if there's a difference between SI Hero and NI Demon and NI Hero and SI Demon. Can't really think of any differences. There's also something called cognitive downshifting, which is really interesting. It's basically where you take a higher function and just replace it with the lower function, and that lower function becomes a higher function. So you're basically emulating a lower function stack with your own function. So like, take my FE parent, I could technically turn it into an FE child, or my... I could even turn my TI child to an TI inferior, temporarily. Oh wait, I know what SI Hero and NI Demon would be like. It would be the most not the most selfish. Actually, probably the most. Never mind. Probably the most selfish. Actually, no. This person would be the most instant gratified person of all time. Like anything gratified, like any form of not dopamine. Wait, no, it's not dopamine. Dopamine's not. It actually. Wait, no. I think it's dopamine. I thought dopamine was something else, but whatever. Literally any form. This person would have the shortest attention span. You think SI Demon would have a short attention span? If they were consumed by technology, they would have the attention span way shorter than SI Demon. Okay, it would take so much. It would depend on what's getting hit, like what functions are getting hit, but for the most part, it's really just. Do mind you, I don't even know if the demon function even. I don't know if the demon function can even like consume the hero function. I mean, it probably could after. Okay, so I know what it is. It's basically consistent use of your demon function. You basically don't know how to control yourself even to the slightest degree. I mean to the slightest degree. You're just constantly using your demon function. Either by nurture, by another type that's either the same type as you, that's constantly arguing with you about something. Something like that. It probably can exist. I really want to ask CS Joseph actually. If he's never mentioned the demonic hero, but he's mentioned demonic parent, he's mentioned demonic child. I'm pretty sure if he can mention both of those, I'm pretty sure he's mentioned he's probably thought of demonic hero. There's no other demonic functions really that could be, because I mean anything, because if you had demonic inferior function, I don't know how that would work, but because they're on an axis of each other, or on an orbit, I mean, of each other, which doesn't make any sense. At that point, the super ego would just take over anyway, so. It's analytical psychology. It's Jungian analytical psychology. It's not really just the 16 types. There's so much to it. I wouldn't even call it 16 types at this point. It's literally analytical psychology because there's so much I talk about as. It's a lot of stuff. Because you have all the functions, you have the orbits, you have the axis, you do have the types, don't get me wrong, but the types are barely even a piece of it. Do mind you, with these cognitive transitions, you aren't actually 100% in your unconscious, or your subconscious, or your ego. Actually, you're probably not even in your ego that often. As you would make, I mean, you're probably in the ego way more often than the other sides of your mind, but for the most part, you're kind of a mixture. I think it depends on how many decisions you make, and if you're an extrovert or an introvert, and it depends on neutral standards as well. But so, like, take if I have an ESTP subconscious, I'm like partway through my subconscious, or if I use ENFP, I would be partway through my unconscious. It is possible to go full ENFP or ESTP, like it is possible to go full unconscious, but that takes a lot of mental energy, seriously. These streams, I probably go almost full subconscious, probably. I'm not really too sure though. I think it varies, depends on what I'm talking about or who I'm talking to or anything of that form. Like, for example, you can make decisions in your unconscious and your ego. Like, you can take in information through your unconscious and make a decision in your ego, and vice versa. Or take in information in your subconscious and make a decision in your ego. It's kind of that. Yeah, you get the idea. It's kind of weird like that. Dang it. Here we go again. You're constantly like in one paragraph. Let's just say in one paragraph, like when you write something, you could have switched between all three sides of your mind potentially. Which is why you need interaction styles, because the interaction styles is your natural way your mind interacts with the world. It's their natural state. It takes a while though to actually get it down, because you have to figure out the interaction style, you have to figure out cognitive, what's it called? I'd recommend looking up quadras, finding somebody's quadra, and you have to figure out somebody's cognitive axis. What functions do they actually acquire? What's up, cool boy? My day's pretty good. You have to figure out what functions they acquire, at least, in their ego. Combine that with the interaction styles. The hard part is figuring out what their ego is, which I think after some analysis, you can do it after a while. Okay, that just takes a lot of, to figure out what side of the mind you're on, you have to figure out your type, you have to figure out the behaviors of your type, and you have to do a lot of self-introspection. That's pretty much how to explain it. Like, when I'm informative, I know I'm in my unconscious, because it's my only unconscious side. Or informative side, sorry. If I'm extroverting and I'm direct, then I'm an ESTP subconscious. Or I'm temporarily an ESTP. And if I'm doing absolutely nothing except staring into the distance, I'm my ego. Side of J. You can also tell by how somebody dresses, their facial hair sometimes. It's mainly interaction styles, that's the main one. It's primary versus secondary. That's the main thing you need to know within figuring your type. What do you primarily do versus your secondary? It's your virtue versus vice, in some case at least. Like, I'm primarily direct and secondary informative. Even triple direct types technically can become informative, but that's under, I think, at least. I'm not too sure. Actually, I'll see it's just about that. I don't think, actually, never mind, I don't think you can. Yeah, direct. And then, are you primarily affiliative? Because I am pretty split between primary versus, Jesus Christ, affiliative versus pragmatic. Like, if I was more ENFP focused, then I'm pretty sure I'm INFJ or ESTP focused. Because your secondary functions or secondary sides of your mind are what you're focused on, which is where your cognitive focus is, which is usually neutral. I just stand on that. Okay. Oh, okay. So, let's see what else. I've actually also thought about, I don't know if you guys can hear me that well, but I've actually thought about, like, since, certain types of benefit from learning styles, which is, I want CS to go over learning styles, that would be quite useful, but even though I kind of have a good idea what INFJ learning styles like, jeez, I'm so bad. Since it mentioned that I looked up learning, like in general, why learning occurs, like how you get good at something in general, like skill based. It mentions that learning a skill is your state, like your, it's called mental consolidation. It's basically where, you know how when you learn something, anything new, and it like just doesn't stick whatsoever? That's mental consolidation. You're basically plastering information or whatever, honestly, into your mind. So I thought about that is until it goes to your subconscious, which I don't know if they're talking about the subconscious I'm thinking of. It's the same one. But depending on your type, what you can consciously pull out of your mind is generally what your first three functions. Basically, your learning style is somewhat your first three functions, or at least how you can come off. So like TI inferior versus TI child. TI childs have an easier time spitting facts and stuff like that because I'm consciously aware of what I know. But the thing about TI inferior is, I killed him. What's up, BC? The thing about TI inferior is that they have to go into their subconscious to know what they know, basically, in some cases. I've probably killed the Ender Dragon like 600, 700 times at this point. That's what I think. And your subconscious is where your more powerful mind of the side of your mind is. Let's just say that. So take my this could explain why SE inferiors benefit so much from practice. This could explain for all the types, honestly. So the reason SE inferior has a benefits so much from practice is because of aspirational side of ESTP or SE inferior. And I'm not consciously aware of what I'm doing, of how good I am at something most of the time. Which is, well, I am aware of what I'm doing or how I'm coming off to other people more than anything else. But it's more or less like I'm just not consciously aware of, at least not entirely aware of my own performance, but I'm afraid if I do perform badly, which is my EST, it's called the inferior subconscious, basically. And It's basically it's like a scared, basically a terrified ESTP. Basically how you would explain it. Or anything of that sort, and depending on the inferior function. And if you can get over the fear of actually performing in general, then... Because if you think about it, every time you use your inferior function, like alone, for example, like SE inferior, if I use it alone, I can practice very quickly. Because Inahira uses that, I can use that deliberate NI with the SE inferior and just focus in. Okay, this is just, I was about to say. And focus in on how I'm doing stuff, like how fast I do things. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much, Ravi. It's the fear of performance, which is performance anxiety, but it's the fear of performing badly, even stopping practice because of how bad we could perform at a specific task because of that fear, internal fear. That's pretty much it. That's how I would describe the subconscious. At least when it comes to how practice works. Or not practice. How learning stuff works. At least for the sake of how you learn something. So why am I mining this? Shoot, I should have done... Oh shoot. Okay, I'm good. Let's see what else there is. So I would say that I know of, the ego is where you learn something, or where you start to learn something, and then this the subconscious is where you know what you were doing, or you know what the facts are, or you know somebody's intentions, because you've done enough research on that specific subject. You've had enough experience in that subject. Something, you get the idea of it. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, Ralphie. But since SE inferiors benefit so much from practice, because all that practice, that performance goes into the subconscious, it becomes stronger than all the types, if that makes sense. Or take TI inferior. TI inferiors technically know more than anybody, or they don't know more, but they know the facts better than anybody because of that TI inferior. It's different than, say, like SE hero or TI hero. SE hero is more consistent and does more things better than SE inferior, because of its SI nemesis, and combined with it has a larger awareness of performance consistently. or see a lootology. Same with TI Hero. TI Heroes can technically know more than anybody. Because of TE Nemesis combined with TI Hero. But the thing is, SC inferiors, since we don't actually know what we're doing, there's no comfort or any form of like it combined with the raw focus, it's outperforms as long as we specialize enough and dedicate ourselves enough into a certain craft that SC inferior can dominate over SC hero in specific sectors. Like even CS Joseph mentioned that INTJs are not master skills. Jack of all trades, master of few skills, is because they can technically do any skill. They just have to they can only pick very few skills because of SI demon. It's like a tiny bookshelf. The more skills you have, the more SI you have, the more skills you can learn. You won't be as good as at those skills, but depending on the skills, obviously. But I mean, you could after literally long periods of time, like that 10-hour mark thing, the 10-hour rule, 10,000 hours, sorry, 10,000 hour rule, something like that. I did not see that there. For some reason. SI demons don't have the muscle memory capacity to learn a bunch of skills at a certain time. Perfect example is that tire technician job I had. It's a perfect example, seriously. I can't really think of any better examples than that job. It's kind of like if an average person, say like an SI demon or an SI hero, was forced to master a skill. It's kind of similar to me trying to learn a bunch of skills at a certain time. It's similar. Or take if SE inferior, so if you just forced SE inferior to master a skill, it's basically the same equivalent as me trying to learn as many skills as possible, because I have to put all of those skills into muscle memory, and I have to get good at each one of them individually. So yeah, it's kind of weird like that. That could explain why I got so good at Beat Saber so quickly. Like, I'm not kidding when I tell you I went from being a month behind of the community of Beat Saber to being probably top 500 possibly. If not even a bit lower. I doubt I was top 100, but still. And a month is a huge difference. I'm just gonna mention a month in a whole community. I definitely know I could have pushed myself even further in that game though. Same with Geometry Dash. It's the same game. Another example is Geometry Dash. Actually, I went from beating medium, like, you know, the difficulty ratings, going from beating a medium demon, kind of a hard demon after that, like a hard demon rating, maybe not even hard actually, maybe more of a medium demon, going from that to beating or almost beating top 50 demon list, 36th hardest demon. Imagine that, going from a hard demon, not even an insane demon, like a hard demon, to top 36 in the game. That's a huge jump, seriously. To be fair, there were less extreme demons at the time, but my god, that's still absolute insanity. I wish I would have pushed a bit further though, and actually completed the level, I'll be honest. I sort of do regret leaving that game. Well, I don't regret leaving the game, but regret not pushing myself further, or knowing how to push myself further. That's a big rip. Wait, is she getting copyright claimed, or is she getting, like, striked? Because those are two different things. Because I've gotten copyright claimed many times, but those don't do anything. Because of TuneCore or whatever that stupid fake source of claims is, it's really stupid. I don't get it on every stream, but I get it on occasion. I mean, apparently from CS Joseph, there was a guy who was taking a CDL. And, he passed the written test. And I know the written test. I was actually going to take my CDL at some point. And I wouldn't say it's difficult, because you can kind of just cram a bunch of practice. You can cram a practice test into your head. It still takes a while, don't get me wrong, but you can still cram it in your head. I probably easily could have passed the test. And then, now the driving test, imagine a CDL test, not a normal driving test, not just a normal tiny car. Imagine an 18-wheeler or a giant truck. Imagine how scared you would be with that giant truck. And he had an INFJ client that was working on a CDL for a whole year, off and on, failing it over and over again until he finally got it towards the end of the, towards around an entire year. What's up, Jaden? Okay, give me a second. Okay, so copyright claim is fine, because it doesn't say anything about affecting channels and stuff like that. It doesn't actually affect your channel. Now, copyright strike is the bad one. What's up, Sunny or Fish? What's up, LSW Cactus? I actually do not remember you whatsoever, I'll be honest. Also, Raph, you were wondering it was a CDL test. Was that commercial? It's like trucks. Big trucks. For probably just regular truck driving, which I can't even imagine being a truck driver. That is if he was. He was probably doing something else though, I'm not too sure though. Thank you, Cactus. I don't know. What is the source? You'd have to figure out what the source of the claim is from. Or something. You're gonna have to do a little bit more research into what's being claimed, what part of the video is being claimed, why is it being claimed. Okay, it's probably background music then, because I remember one time, even Minecraft music got claimed by TuneCore or something like that. It was really stupid. But luckily, my videos haven't been claimed on, even though I don't think they can be, because I'm using music from another artist, which would be really stupid of them to do. Because I could easily just say, hey, this person's trying to claim your videos. It's like, boom, they're gone. That'd be suicide for whoever's trying to do that, but it could be, if you have background music, you definitely have to check for copyright. Who's doing it, stuff like that. Who's it by, what's the background music anyway? Stuff like that. Yeah, like that kind of stuff, Rafi. Especially with performance anxiety, it'd be even worse. I think driving a normal car is bad for performance anxiety. It may not even be a truck driving job though. It may be something else. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, she should definitely check what kind of music she's using. She needs to be very thorough with what music she uses without avoiding any copyright claims. Even if it's music you can use, you might want to, this is what I've had to do, like Electronomia, I think it is. I don't know if it's Naviro or Electronomia that I use mainly. I just credit them in the description. That's what they usually say. So you can use this, but you gotta credit me, and then I use it and I credit them, so. Thank you, Jaden. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, honestly, that's... You know, that's actually kind of why I'm kind of glad I didn't actually take my CDL. Do mind you, the truck I was going to be driving, though, was kind of... It wasn't an 18-wheeler. It was actually a pretty decently small truck, I'll be honest. Still, I'm still terrified of driving something like that, I'll be honest. I can't even imagine driving something like an 18-wheeler. More like the fear of hitting someone. To be fair, Rafi, CS Joseph did mention that's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, though. Like, being fearful of driving makes you more likely to hit somebody than not being fearful. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's something you try to avoid by being super gentle and being scared about driving and possibly not hitting something. You actually have a higher chance than actually practicing and driving without the performance anxiety. It's literally a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's literally go with the flow, honestly. If I would have known that, I would have practiced driving a little bit earlier and I didn't have like this huge pound of stress on me. Thank you, Cactus. So yeah, that counts for all types. So all types for some, all types can create a self-fulfilling prophecy with their inferior function specifically. Because you're fearful of doing something or anything, depending on what your fear is, and you're trying to avoid that fear, but you're going to be causing that fear regardless. It's like, okay. Like fear of not being wanted, any inferior. Fear of not being wanted, and you try so hard not being wanted, but you just become unwanted anyway. Oh yeah, that's probably my biggest stress. Even now when I'm decent at driving, unknown areas terrify me, especially when I get lost. For having performance anxiety and... Actually, by myself, it's okay. Like, I can navigate stuff by myself. Okay, at least. Sort of. It depends on the area, really. Even if it's unknown area, I can kind of have a decent idea where the heck I'm even going. Even then, I can just pull over and get maps. I have to. Even then, I can still mess that up, to be honest with you. And let me just say this, that like getting lost in general is horrible when it comes to driving. Especially unknown areas. Combine unknown areas with not remembering anything, recipe for disaster. Just absolute recipe for disaster. Luckily, I knew my route, which was good. Like, I was able to practice my route a bit. So I at least had a pretty good idea where I was going. I still hate not remembering where any places are. That's still kind of frustrating. Like, I can go to a place like 100 times. I probably still won't know where that place is by driving. Yeah, I'm really bad at them. I'm probably the worst, honestly. As best I demon, but my biggest problem with SE Inferior with the performance anxiety is I go slower. Like, I need to stop going slow and just trust my performance of doing something. Trusting myself of not messing up. Even if I do mess up, I can correct myself very quickly, at least. Even then, it's still pretty bad. It's really just about, like, fear of not messing up. It's not really performance anxiety, it's just fear of not messing up. And if you fear messing up, guess what? You're probably gonna mess up. It's literally go with the flow. Good thing I have a charger. It's horrible having that bad of a memory. That's the thing though, it's just so bad when it comes to even now, I still have a little bit of performance anxiety when I'm driving with other people. Unless I know where I'm going, then it's fine. But if I don't know actually specifically where I'm going, or I don't actually remember where I'm going with friends, that's nerve-wracking. I think something we need to actually stop doing is assuming everybody's judging our driving. Or anything, honestly. Just stop. We need to stop assuming somebody's judging us by what we're doing. One thing, that's one. Move quickly is another thing that works pretty well. Alright, see you, Jada, and thank you as well. Also forgot to mention, I found another skeleton spawner, but I'm not going to keep this one, unfortunately. What's up, Jesus? Yeah, that's pretty bad. Being judged by a cat. Really, it's just sheer focus you need to start focusing on. Or, sorry, not sheer focus. It's just go with the flow, seriously. If you know you've put in the practice, just go with it, honestly. Just pretend like you're practicing. That's a good way to do it, actually. Just pretend like you're practicing by yourself. That's not a bad way to do it. I did it with Beat Saber when people watched me in Beat Saber. Whenever some people would watch me, I'd just pretend like they aren't there. You just stop pretending, just pretend they're not there. And just go with it, seriously. Or at least try your hardest to pretend they're not there. Don't overdo it, but just try to pretend they're not there and just focus on how good you're doing. Just focus on what you're doing. Well, sort of. Focus on how you're doing. And don't focus on how they're judging you on how you're doing. I don't like big cities either, don't worry. I'm gonna be living in a big city in the next, I don't know when, honestly. In the future, sometime. Which, trust me when I tell you, that's gonna take some adjustments with SC Inferior. A little bit of studying. I think studying is actually not a bad idea. Studying roads, studying road names. Where everything is. Studying it based on a logical standpoint instead of trying to remember it. Just study it. I mean, Google Maps is a thing. Oh yeah, and here's the thing though, it's easier to make it. It's not even just making the mistake. It's easier to make a mistake in a big city because there's so much going on. Like I remember going on a trip, going to New York. Jesus Christ, no, don't. If you have SC Inferior, don't do it. It would probably be the most stressful thing in your entire life. New York, oh my god, I'm really glad I was not driving in that city, because that would be biggest pain in the entire world. I would be driving, I wouldn't even be driving. I would be going like 5 miles per hour. I would just be in drive. I wouldn't be driving. Yeah, it's really just going with the flow though with SC Inferior. I mean, if you want to be like the guy from the CDL that failed his test a billion times over and then finally passed it after a certain point. Instead of just getting over the fear and just going with the flow and then passing it the first time. Yeah, New York, no. Just no. No. It was like San Diego in California. Like, I went to a trip back in 2013. It was like 5 years before that trip. San Diego doesn't even touch New York in terms of city driving. Or just city, like for example, my mom, she's an, SI parent. She's had years of experience and she was stressed to the absolute max. Can you imagine SC Inferior, especially with SI Demon? How bad that would be, especially when everything looks the same. Alright, see ya, Jesus. Sounds so weird saying that, I'll be honest. Still weird having the same type as him, though. It's like that's slightly stressing me out, thinking that I have the same type as Jesus. It's like, bro, I have to like, I'm literally being compared to Jesus. That's terrifying to think about. Probably. Yeah, New York was really bad, because you gotta think about, there are cars, I'm just gonna mention, I don't know about you, but in New York, you can literally park in the middle of the street with your hazards on to get something in the store. If that shows you how bad it is. And people honk basically for fun, I'm telling you, they don't honk for any reason besides being fun. I refuse to believe they honk for actual reasons. Oh yeah, don't forget there's also bicyclers that literally they drive in between cars when they're parked. Like, I'm talking inches away, actually not even inches, like maybe not even inches, honestly. And these cars are driving too, don't get me wrong. Sorry, not parked. They're not even parked. The cars aren't parked and these bicycles are driving or riding through. It's like, geez, you guys are insane. Slightly terrifying too, because think about it though, what if a car just randomly sped up? How are you gonna predict that? It's like, you literally have, like, that's... what the heck? That's bravery 1,000, honestly. Times 1,000. And they don't go slow, do mind you, around these cars. I only know that because we had like one bicycler go around our car very easily. And don't get me wrong, don't forget about the random, or not the random, but the crosswalks, the million crosswalks. Well, they do have their own lane in certain places, I think, if I remember correctly. I know in San Diego they had their own lane. But, I know California, usually they have their own lane. I think New York had their own lane, but usually, since it's so cramped, I think, they had their own lane at some point. I think it's in specific spots, so. I'm talking in, like, the midst of, the midst. I don't even know how to say that. In New York. Like, I'm talking the central New York, basically. This is where bicyclers can't entirely use their own lane. Not all the time, at least. It was a nice change, but instead of seeing trucks all the time, that was annoying. It's like, bro, can I see some actually nice cars? Somewhat nice, at least. To be fair, the average car in New York was like at least an Audi or Mercedes. Which is pretty funny. Bro, that's such a nice change of pace. I didn't see any like super expensive cars, but I did see some pretty nice cars. Let me just say that. Like, you know, they have like bird watching and stuff like that. Mine's more like car watching. I'd honestly do it. think New York has the population density. I think it was like 9 million or something like that. Do mind you, this is a tiny city. You think New York is I know it's supposed to be compact, but 9 million people. You basically see a person, even in the middle of the night, about every like quarter of a second or something like that. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. I do off, what's up, Obsidian? I do off-camera mining. Not as much as I used to, but I do a little bit. The place I would go for car watching, though, is London. I think that would be the place I'd probably go for, like, car watching, just to see if I can see anything nice. Yeah, I think it's 9 million. I don't know the size of Berlin compared to New York, but I'm willing to bet New York is a decent amount smaller than Berlin. Maybe. With 9 million people. I'm talking, this place is super tiny. They have their perks. Off-screen mining is, off-camera mining is pretty... I get a bit more done. And I get to basically live in my own head, but the second on-screen mining, I get to talk to people, so yeah. Kinda, they have their drawbacks versus... Kinda both have their drawbacks and advantages. Or not advantages, drawbacks versus, positives, whatever, however you want to say it. You get the idea, though. What's up, original? I don't actually know what your full name is, but... I don't actually know if New York is smaller than Berlin. I'm just saying there's a pretty decent chance. Okay, that's terrifying, actually. If Berlin is bigger in landmass, that's kind of terrifying. To be fair, I think New York is the largest city in the US, though, or the most dense, in terms of population. So it makes perfect sense. Like, San Diego was pretty big. Like, it had quite a few people, but geez, New York was like a very compact version of San Diego, which is insane considering how big that compact that city already was. It just reminded me of a very Alright, see ya, just a friend. A very compact San Diego, which is really saying a lot. Like, I could probably somewhat drive in San Diego, if that says anything, compared to New York. Maybe. Alright. That went by pretty quickly, I'll be honest. Those 2 layers done. I think that, wait, give me a second. Do I see something over there? Did I actually finish this layer? I don't think I did I? No, I didn't. That's what I thought. I wasn't too sure though. These ravines are killing me on like figuring out what the heck I even finished or not. Okay, I still have a little bit left. Let's say it really my god, I need to stop using the second screen. It's slightly delayed. There we go. It's pretty easy actually. That's actually terrifying, I'll be honest. I didn't know it was that compact. Oh shoot, man. How did I make that? So it has almost twice as many people. Actually, what is the most dense city in the world? Isn't it Tokyo? Isn't Tokyo the most dense city in the world or something like that? I'm not too sure about that though, don't quote me on that one, but kinda wanna see it. I wanna see New York stack up compared to the most dense. Oh yeah. The water area is interesting actually. It really shows how small New York is if you see the water. It's kind of scary. From far away. Like on a boat, because we actually went on a boat. My god, New York is so tiny. It looks super compact. It looks way smaller than it probably actually is because of the amount of buildings. I'm pretty sure New York is 9 million. You could look it up if you want to verify. I think it's somewhere around 9 million. I don't know if I consider myself excited, doggo, but I think it's definitely an interesting update. It's definitely cool that they're finally adding a cave update. All of these requests. All this time, people wanting a cave update since 1.15. I'm just waiting for a sky update. There's nothing really to the sky. I just want to see if they can make a sky update, or if they should see if they make a sky update. I think that'd be kind of cool. Now, if they made a mining update, that would be interesting. Shouldn't be surprising there, though. Mining should kind of get revamped, though, I'll be honest. Just a bit. Because it kind of has been kind of the same since, what, 2011? 2012 even? Wait, seriously? That's pretty cool. $8.3 million makes more sense, I'll be honest. I knew it was between 8 and 9 million. Alright, I'm gonna go on in the stream now. I'll hit 20s by tomorrow. Dang, I did those sections fast. Those layers, I mean, I keep saying sections, my god. Alright, see you guys.